Welcome back to 3BN. We're getting ready to start our third session game this evening. Hugoton girls versus the Scott City girls. We'll bring you all the action of that game. Had an angry parent, Cindy Anthony, just joking. She's actually a really sweet friend of mine. Come up and tell me how I need to pronounce some names better for the Hugoton girls. I really appreciate that. Love some Cindy Anthony. Nice to connect with her. She's going to kill me when hopefully she doesn't hear all that. But thank you for the help with the pronunciations. Always want to get those things corrected. And thank you for tuning in to 3BN. We're in the third session of this evening's basketball games. And again, it's the Hugoton girls versus the Scott City girls. We'll bring you all the action of that basketball game. As we listen to the starting lineups, I'll be right back for the start of the game. See you in just a minute. Welcome back to 3BN. We heard the starting lineups for both teams. For Hugoton, it's Lewis, Gaskell, Villegas, Arredondo, and Alfaro. And for Scott, it's Gentry, Fox, Irvin, Lewis, and Trout. Those are your starting lineups for both games. We're getting started here on this third session game. Thanks for tuning in to 3BN. We'll bring you all the action of this ball game. And again, for those of you that are Sterling Black Bears supporters, we will be watching them play as they've got past the Lions in our first session game this afternoon. And we'll be playing the winner of our second session game, Smoky Valley, at 3 o'clock on Friday in OSAC. Thanks again for tuning in to 3BN. We're getting ready to start this third session ball game. Hugoton girls, Scott City girls, and off the tip-off, it's Hugoton with the ball. Number 2, Lewis. Quick steal by Scott City as we come back the other direction. Again, we're early in this ball game, just getting ready to, or have started the first quarter. Scott City corner shot by number 23. Avery Lewis for 3 to get Scott City going on the board. Lewis with the ball over to Villegas for Hugoton. Scott City, quick steal again, back the other direction. Scott City working the ball around, looking for shot. Perimeter shot by number 2, Umali Lewis for Hugoton for 3. Umali at the top of the key with the ball, trying to get it over in the corner to number 5. Gaskell knocked out of bounds. Checking into the ball game for Hugoton, number 25, Niehaus for Hugoton. Lewis with the ball, top of the key. Work it over in the corner. Niehaus inside. They try to kick it back out to Alfaro. Scott City knocking it loose again, coming back the other direction. We got looks like it's going to be a blocking foul on number 2, Lewis, for Hugoton. That's her first foul. Ball's going to stay here with Scott City. Six to nothing is your score. Scott City with the opening points. Hugoton looking for their first points of the ball game. Steal inside by Hugoton, back the other direction. Strong move inside by number 5. Gaskell rolls around, can't get it to go in. Back out to Lewis. Lewis shot inside, no good, knocked loose. Looks like we might have a foul inside. Foul's going to be a push on number 20, Alfaro, Irvin for Scott City. 3-point attempt by number 20's Alfaro, no good. Rebounded by Scott City. Back the other direction we go. Scott City with the ball, top of the key. Lewis Garden Gentry, tie up. Still staying with Scott City. Scott trying to work it inside, but knocked loose by Hugoton. Back the other direction we go. And again, Hugoton still looking for their first points of the game. Travel by number 25, Niehaus, as the ball is going back the other direction for Scott. Armendariz checking in the game for Hugoton. And also number 12, Natalie Villegas for Hugoton. 4:54 left here in the first quarter. Scott City with the ball and a 6-point lead as they bring the ball up the floor. Ball knocked loose, stolen by Hugoton. Lewis, inside shot. Easy layup for her for the first points of the ball game for Hugoton. Scott City tried to work it inside, knocked loose again by Lewis. Lewis gets the shot and the foul on that play. That foul's going against number 2, Kendall Gentry. That's her first foul. Checking into the ball game for Scott is number 32, Felker, and number 15, Metzger for Scott. Lewis to the line to shoot for Hugoton. Shot is good for the traditional 3-point play. Scott City back the other direction. 4:21 here in the first quarter. 6-5 is your score. Scott City with the 1-point lead. Scott City working it inside. Shot no good by Piper Fox. Lewis back the other way for Hugoton. Pass inside to number 3, Armendariz for Hugoton, going to the line to shoot. Shot by Armendariz, no good as it rolls out. Checking into the ball game for Scott City is number 22, Katie Weathers. Checking also into the ball game for Hugoton. Niehaus. Hugoton shot. Good by Armendariz. We have a 6-6 ball game, ladies and gentlemen. 3:54 here in the first quarter of this third game of the night. Stolen by Niehaus for Hugoton. Back the other way comes Lewis. Lewis, a little shot inside, no good. Got some contact, but no foul. Scott City back the other direction. They do work it inside to number 10, Piper Fox, and she's fouled. And that foul is going to go against number 25, Niehaus, for Hugoton. Sending Piper Fox to the line to shoot. First shot is good, or actually her only shot is good as she completes the traditional three-point play. Lewis at the ball for Hugoton. Trapping defense by Scott, be able to be broken by Hugoton. Gaskell tried to work it inside. Tie up inside. Alternate possession is going to go back to Scott City.
In the game for the Eagles,
City Arredondo checking back in for Hugoton as Scott City has the ball coming back the other direction. 3:05 left here in the first quarter. Shot inside by number 22, Katie Weathers. She's going to be fouled. And that foul is going to go against Morgan Niehaus of Hugoton. That's her second foul.
In the game for Hugoton, Daniela Alfaro. In the game for Scott City, Megan Trout and Kendall Jenkins.
Hugoton checking into the ball game, Alfaro. And for Scott, Megan Trout. Weather second shot, no good. 10-6 is your score. Scott City by 4. Lewis with the ball for Hugoton. 2:46 left here in the first quarter. Shot by Hugoton's Villegas, no good. Rebounded by number 20, Alfaro. It's going to send her to the line to shoot. Foul's going to go against number 32, Felker, for Scott City. That's her first foul. Shot bounces around for Alfaro, unable to drop in. Second shot is good. 10-7 is your score. Scott City by 3. 2:33 left here in the first quarter. Looks like a foul being committed by Katie Weathers, or excuse me, by Villegas. Correction again, that's by Alfaro for, I'll get this right, Hugoton. It's going to stay with Scott City. Scott works the ball inside. Can't get that to go. Couple of shots. Nice rebound by Felker for Scott City. Able to drop that in. 12-7 is your score. Scott in the lead. 2:07 left here in the first quarter. Shot inside by number 20 for Hugoton, Alfaro. Being able to bring Hugoton back within 3 points of Scott City's score of 12. Ball knocked loose and stolen by number 12, Hugoton. Nice lay-in Natalie Villegas making it a 1-point game with 1:33 left here in the first quarter. 12-11. Shot by number 41 for Scott, Megan Trout, partially blocked by Hugoton. Back the other way comes Hugoton. 3-point attempt by number 12, Villegas, no good, but rebounded inside by number 3, Armendariz.
Foul was called on Deanna Armendariz. Her first, team's fifth.
Armendariz with the foul. That's her first foul, sending Scott City to the line to shoot.
To the line for Scott City, Katie Weathers.
Weathers to shoot. Checking into the ball game for Scott, Krista Irvin, and also Avery Lewis. 1:12 left here in the first quarter. Second shot by Weathers, no good. Back the other direction comes Hugoton. Hugoton with the ball. Hugoton's number 13, Aaron Dondo. Too many steps, turning the ball back over to Scott City. 49 seconds left here in the first quarter. 13-11. Scott City with the 2-point lead and the ball. Pass inside to number 41, Megan Trout for Scott City. 27 seconds left. Hugoton coach wanting them to be patient, hopefully just trying to wind it down for the last shot. Ball knocked loose, back the other way for Scott City. A little bit of an overthrow pass. Ball's going to go back to Hugoton. Checking back into the ball game for Hugoton is number 5, Gaskell. 11 seconds left here in the first quarter. Hugoton with the ball. Maybe looking for the last shot if they can get across the timeline, which they do. Ball knocked loose again by Scott City. Shot inside by number 2, Gentry, no foul, and that's going to end your first quarter with the score. Scott City 15, Hugoton 11. We'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in to 3BN. Welcome back to 3BN. We're getting ready to start the second quarter of this third session ball game. Scott City versus Hugoton. Scott City in the lead by 4, 15-11. Hugoton to inbounds to start this second quarter. Lewis inside with the nice little lay-in for Hugoton. Scott City with the ball back the other direction. Spin move inside by number 23. Avery Lewis for Scott, able to get her own rebound and back up for two. Trinity back the other direction, or excuse me, Hugoton back for the other direction. Lewis with the shot just inside the three-point line for two. Nice shot by Lewis. Scott City back the other direction. They do work it inside. Shot up. Rebound by number 41, Megan Trout. Coach Friend with his timeout for Scott City. 19-15 is your score. Scott by 4. 6:48 here in the second quarter. We'll be right back. Back out of this timeout. 6:48 left here in the second quarter. 19-15 is your score. Scott City with the 4-point lead. Hugoton with the ball. They do get it across the timeline. Villegas over to Lewis. 3-point attempt by Villegas, no good. Rebounded by Scott. Scott trying to work it inside. Had to back it out a little bit and reset. Scott City working around the perimeter. Hugoton trying to deny the shot inside. Quick shot just inside the three-point line by number 10. Piper Fox is no good. Back the other way comes Hugoton. Lewis, top of the key. Over to Villegas. They try to work it inside. Alfaro. Work it inside again to Lewis. The loss of footing and a travel. Checking back into the ball game for Hugoton is number 25, Niehaus, and Aaron Dondo. And then for Scott City, it looks like number 32, Felker, and number 22, Katie Weathers. Scott City with the ball back the other direction. 5:33 left here in the second quarter. 19-15, Scott City with the 4-point lead, and another nice shot inside by number 22, Katie Weathers for Scott City. 21-15 now is your score. Scott City with the 6-point lead. 5 minutes left here before the half. Lewis. Corner to Niehaus. Niehaus back to Villegas. Villegas over to Alfaro as they run their offense. Top of the key. Shot, top of the key for a three. Gentry, or excuse me, Lewis partially blocked. Back the other direction. Strong move inside by number 32, Felker, tied up. Coach Adigan for Hugoton wants a timeout, and that's what we'll do. 4:30 left here in the first half. 21-15, Scott City over Hugoton. .430 left here in the second quarter, second session ball game. Scott City is leading Hugoton by 6 points, 21-15, and they do have the ball. As they work it inside. Shot by Fox, no good. Rebounded by Hugoton back the other direction. They do work it inside to Lewis, no good though. Back over in the corner. Jump ball. Ball's going to stay with Hugoton. Checking back into the ball game for Hugoton, number 5, Gaskell, and number 3, Armendariz. Taking the ball out for Hugoton, number 12, Legas. Ball knocked loose on the inbounds by number 22, Weathers. Going to stay with Hugoton. Bounce pass inside now, stolen by Scott City as we come back the other direction. Stolen again by Lewis for Hugoton. She races up the floor, cuts through the defense, knocked to the ground pretty hard by number 32, Kaylee Felker, and that's going to send Lewis to the line to shoot two as she was in the act of shooting. Miley Lewis at the line for Hugoton, getting ready to shoot two. Shot is no good. As we've got Arredondo and Alfaro checking in the ball game for Hugoton. Trout also checking in the game for Scott City. Lewis's second shot, no good. Rebounded by Scott City. Looks like we've got Peyton Gentry also in the lineup for Scott City. As Metzger for Scott tried to make a move inside, traveled. Ball's going to go back to Hugoton. Lewis with the ball, 3:25 left here in the first half. Hugoton working around the perimeter. Lewis, top of the key. They do nicely work it inside to number 20, Alfaro. 21-17 is your score. Scott City by 4 and have the ball. We try to work it into Weathers. She traveled on that shot. Ball's going to go back to Hugoton. Hugoton a chance to get a little bit closer and score in this ball game as they're down by 4 with 2:50 left here in the first half. Lewis, Armendariz, Alfaro, Arredondo, Gaskell all out there for Hugoton. An errant pass is going to make it go back over to Scott City. They do work it inside to number 22, Weathers. Ball knocked loose and out of bounds. Lewis, Irvin, and Fox all checking into the ball game for Scott City. Hugoton with the ball. Still behind by 4 points. Lewis top of the key. Gaskell for Hugoton with the step through and travel. Ball's going to go back to Scott City as it looks like number 12, Villegas, is checking to the ball game for Armendariz for Hugoton. Scott City with the ball. 2 minutes left here in the half. Leading by 4. 21-17. Scott City, number 20. Three-pointer no good. Back the other way comes Lewis off the rebound for Hugoton. Able to bring the score a little bit closer for Hugoton, 21-19. A little bit of pressure there at the top of the key, forcing Kendall Gentry for Scott City to throw it out of bounds. Opportunity for Hugoton to tie the ball game or go up by 1, depending on what kind of a shot they can get off. Hugoton with the ball. Lewis top of the key. Shot inside. Villegas no good. Rebounded by Scott. 52 seconds left here in the first half. Scott City throws it away. Picked up by Lewis. Lewis accidentally double dribbling the basketball, turning it back over to Scott City with 40 seconds left here in the first half of play. Scott City forced over the timeline. Possession's going to go back to Hugoton as Villegas takes it out for Lewis. Ball knocked loose. Alfaro back over to Villegas. Villegas tries to get over in the corner to Gaskell. Gaskell accidentally stepping out of bounds, and so with 17 seconds left here in the first half, Scott City with the ball. Lewis steps up to try to put some pressure on him. Ball worked inside. Shot up, no good. Off of the hand of Piper Fox. Hugoton's ball. 5 seconds left. They're on the very end of the timeline. It's picked up by Lewis. 2 seconds. Shot up and no good. And that's going to be your half as the Scott City Beavers ahead of the Lady Hugoton Eagles 21-19. We'll be back for the second half action. Thanks for tuning in to 3BN. Welcome back to 3BN. We're getting ready to start the second half of this third session game. Hugoton Eagles versus the Scott City Beavers. Beavers with a 2-point lead, 21-19, as we start the third quarter. First session game, Sterling Lady Black Bears were able to advance. In the second game, Smoky Valley Lady Vikings were able to advance in that ball game. So that's kind of how it sets up so far. We're into the second half of this third session game, and again, it's a tight one. Scott City with a 2-point lead and the ball as we get started here. Thanks for tuning in to 3BN. Scott City with the ball. Having a tough time getting it in side. Swarming Hugoton defense. Shot inside by Megan Trout, no good. Rebounded by Scott City. 3-point attempt in the corner by number 2, Kendall Gentry for Scott City. Hugoton with the ball. Tie up on the floor. Kendall Gentry able to tie up. Hugoton under the boards, going to stay with Hugoton. Villegas to take it out for Hugoton. Lewis over in the corner to number 13, Aaron Dondo for 2. Back the other direction comes Scott City. 3-point attempt by number 20. Irvin, no good. Rebounded by Scott. Two-point attempt by Gentry, no good. Battle under the boards. Rebounded by Lewis. Able to get inside there with all those trees of Scott City and able to wrestle it loose. Ball's going to stay in possession of Hugoton. Hugoton able to break the Scott City press pretty easily, though the ball was knocked loose by number 10. Piper Fox for Scott City is going to stay with Hugoton. Checking back into the ball game for Hugoton's number 3, Armendariz. 6:09 left here in the third quarter. We're just getting started here in the second half. Hugoton with the ball. Lewis for Hugoton gets it over in the corner to Aaron Dondo. Aaron Dondo and Megan Trout tie up for Scott City. Alternate possession going back to Scott City. Scott City bringing the ball up the floor. 3-point lead by Scott, 24-21. They do work it inside. Strong move inside by number 41, Megan Trout for Scott City. Hugoton, nice pass inside to number 3, Armendariz. She lays it in easily for the Eagles. Scott City, 3-point attempt by Kendall Gentry, no good, but nice block out rebound by number 10, Piper Fox for the easy lay-in. Adigan for Hugoton giving the block out sign like, where are you ladies? On those rebounds. Quick steal by Scott City as we come back the other direction. Megan Trout and Lewis on the floor. Checking into the ball game for Scott is number 22, Katie Weathers, and number 15, Mackenzie Metzger. As the tie-up's going to make it go back to Hugoton. 4:40 left here in the third quarter. 28-23, Scott City by 5. Hugoton with the ball. Emily Lewis. Little perimeter passing. Hugoton's trying to look for a good shot inside, looks like. Scott City rotating pretty well. Able to force a travel on number 25, Niehaus for Hugoton. Ball's going to go back the other way to Scott City. Metzger bringing the ball up the floor for Scott City. They do work it inside nicely to number 23 for Scott Lewis. Not able to get it off or able to get it in, but then a nice rebound by number 41, Megan Trout. Quick steal by Scott City back the other way. Kendall Gentry can't get that to go, but she gets her own rebound. Hugoton, it's a crash on the floor a little bit. Big tie-up. Possession's going to stay with Hugoton. Coach Adigan wants a timeout. Talk it over with his ladies. 3:27 left in the third quarter. 3BN Network, thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back after this timeout. .327 left here in the third. 30-23 is your score. Scott City by 7 over Hugoton. Hugoton out of the timeout, going to inbounds. Winner of this game advances to 6 o'clock game at Sterling College tomorrow night for first place. Scott City working it inside. Megan Trout was bottled up a little bit by Hugoton, forced the travel. Coach Friend had a little bit of a different perspective on that, sharing that with the referee as he goes by. Hugoton with the ball. Ball winds up on the floor, stolen by Scott. Another tie-up on the floor. Jump ball. Possession's going to stay with Hugoton. Checking into the ball game for Hugoton's number 5, Gaskell, and number 3, Armendariz. Lewis for Hugoton, back over to Gaskell. Arredondo. Gaskell for three. Little fist pump from Hugoton coach on that shot by Gaskell. 30-26, Scott City. A blocking foul on Hugoton, number 25, Niehaus. Weathers was going to the basket. Metzger trying to work it inside to Felker. Foul. Foul is on Gaskell, sending Megan Trout to the line to shoot. Shot is good. Alfaro checking into the ball game for Hugoton. That foul on Gaskell, that was her first foul. Second shot good by Megan Trout. 2:15 left here in the third quarter. 32-26 is your score. Scott City with the lead. Shot over in the corner, no good by Hugoton. Lewis tries to get it inside to number 3, Armendariz. Lost the ball out of bounds, and we have a whole host of new players checking in the ball game for Scott. Weathers and Fox. Gentry, Kendall Gentry. A bit of a tie-up. Ball's going to stay with Scott City. They bring it in. Three-point attempt by Scott City's Avery Lewis. Basket is good. Avery Lewis on that shot with the push in the back. It's going to pick up a foul as a result of that. Ball's going to go back over to Scott City as a result. 9-point lead for Scott City. 1:23 left in the ball game. We're in the third quarter, excuse me. Lewis with the ball for Hugoton. Inside move blocked partially by Scott City, out of bounds. She makes a pretty nifty move inside, but blocked out of bounds by Scott City. 1:11 left here in the third quarter. Lewis, Gaskell, Arredondo. Shot inside by number 13, Arredondo, is good. 35-28 with 44 seconds left here in the third quarter. Scott City still with the lead. Has held on to the lead most of the ball game. We got a rebound by number 13, Arredondo. Foul on Piper Fox. Scott City a little bit too aggressive on that rebound, picking up the foul. 32 seconds left. 35-28 is your score. Scott City with the lead here in the third quarter. Not sure that Hugoton has been able to lead in this ball game at all. Kendall Gentry, no good. Follow-up shot by number 22. Katie Weathers for Scott, pushing that lead up. Lewis, long shot, no good. End of your third quarter, and here's third session ball game. Scott City Beavers 37, Hugoton Eagles 28. We'll be right back here for the exciting fourth quarter. Please stay tuned to 3BN. Back in action here in the fourth quarter of this third session ball game. Scott City Beavers over the Lady Hugoton Eagles 37-28. We're just getting started here in the fourth quarter. Hugoton to inbound, stolen by Scott. Back the other direction. Shot inside by number 22, Katie Weathers. She's fouled. And that foul's going to go against number 3 for Hugoton, Armendariz. Again, sending Katie Weathers to the line to shoot 2. Checking into the ball game is number 41, Megan Trout. And for Hugoton, Morgan Niehaus just checked into the ball game. Shot by Weathers, good. Kaylee Falker checking into the ball game for Scott City. (38-28) is your score. Scott City by 10. Again, Hugoton, not sure they've led at all during this ball game. Scott City with the ball and the steal. Scott City, quick timeout. Friend wanted to talk it over with his players. 7:21 left in this ball game, 38-28. Scott City in the lead over Hugoton. We'll be right back. 3BN. Back out of the timeout, Scott City with the ball and a 10-point lead. About 7 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Shot inside by number 41. Strong move by Megan Trout for 2. It's going to be a tough hill to climb for these Lady Hugoton Eagles. The Scott City continues to just hammer away. Nice little three-point shot by Lewis for Hugoton. Bringing the score back a little bit closer by 9. Quick timeout by Adigan. We'll be right back. 3B in. Back in action here. Fourth quarter, third session game. Scott City with the 9-point lead over Hugoton. Hugoton with the quick steal. Lewis knocked to the floor. Trying to get ready for a layup. And that foul's going to go against number 21, Peyton Gentry. That's her first foul, sending Lewis of Hugoton to the line to shoot. Actually, that's a non-shooting foul, so we're just going to get possession of the ball for Hugoton. Three-point attempt in the corner, no good. By Villegas. Little tie-up on the floor. Scott City had the possession, but traveled with it. Back over to Hugoton. Inbounds breakaway pass over to Hugoton, or excuse me, over to Scott City. Metzger trying to go inside for the shot, fouled by Lewis. That's her third foul. Scott City retains possession. Shot by Trout, no good. Rebounded by Lewis for Hugoton, back the other way. Nine-point deficit, 40-31. Scott City with the lead. And has kept the lead for most, if not all, of the ball game. Lewis with the ball. Hugoton. Cross-court pass from Lewis to Niehaus. She's fouled. That foul's going to go against 23 Avery Lewis for Scott City. Ball's going to stay with Hugoton. Hugoton shot inside, no good by Villegas. That foul's going to go on Megan Trout. That's her first foul. Coming into the ball game for Scott is number 22, Katie Weathers. Hugoton with the ball. 3-point attempt by Lewis. Nice rebound by number 41, Megan Trout. Back the other direction comes Scott. They do work it inside. Trout with the nice position and lay-in, but she's going to be fouled from behind. Foul on number 3, Armendariz for Hugoton. First shot for Trout is good. Checking into the ball game for Scott is number 10, Piper Fox. Trout's second shot is good. 42-31 is your score. Scott City in the lead over Hugoton. Hugoton with the 3-point attempt. Villegas no good, rebounded by Scott City. Gentry had her pocket picked by Lewis. She can't get the layup. Scott City trying to pass the ball. Had it knocked loose. Ball going back over to Hugoton. 42-31. 11-point lead by Scott City. They do work it inside. Lewis over to Gaskell. Lewis for 3. Nice shot by Lewis. (42-34). Scott City, 8-point lead. Scott City, they do work it inside, a little give and go. That foul is going to go against Gaskell for Hugoton. Piper Fox shooting inside, being fouled. First shot is no good. Second shot for Fox is good. Hugoton inbounds. Back the other direction. Lewis for 3, no good. Rebounded by Piper Fox. Scott City back the other direction. Spin move inside by number 22, Weathers. Had it knocked loose. Back the other direction comes the Hugoton Lady Eagles. Down by 9 points is Hugoton, 43-34. 3 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Scott City with the lead most of the game. Shot in the corner by number 12. Villegas no good, rebounded by Scott City. Back the other direction we go. Three-point attempt by Scott City. Weathers no good. Ball tie up. Scott City traveling. Ball going back over to Hugoton. 2:39 left in the ball game. 43-34. Hugoton with the ball. Hugoton able to work it inside, then kick it back out to Gaskell. Lewis being covered pretty strongly by Gentry. The foul on number 41 looks like Megan Trout. Reach-in foul. That's her second foul. That's 4 team fouls. Villegas to take it out to Lewis. They try to work it inside. Looks like Piper Fox is going to pick up a foul. That's her 4th foul. And that's going to put number 5 for Hugoton, Gaskell, to the line to shoot. First shot is in and out for Gaskell. Second shot no good. Rebounded by Scott City. Back the other way we go. 1:51 left in the ball game. Scott City's friend wants a timeout. 43-34 is your score. 1:44 left in the ball game. Scott City with the lead. We'll be right back to 3BN. .144 left in this third session ball game. Scott City in front of Hugoton, 43-34. Scott City content to run some clock off, try to put this ball game away. 3-point attempt by number 20, Krista Irvin, in the corner for Scott City. That's a pretty big dagger as we're down to almost a minute left in the game. 46-34 is your score. Scott City in the lead. And for all intents and purposes, they will matriculate, as they say, to first place ball game tomorrow night, Sterling College. Scott City with the ball again, content just to hold on to it. 35 seconds left. Playing a nice passing game, just trying to play keep away. 26 seconds left in the ball game. Playing keep away still with Hugoton down to 15 seconds. That's pretty much going to be the ball game, I think, with 10 seconds left. Scott City will advance to the first place game. Final score, Scott City 46, Hugoton Eagles 34. Stay tuned for our last session game of the night. Kingman versus Southeast of Saline. Winner of that game will obviously face Scott City in the final game tomorrow night. Please stay around for that final game to see how that matches up. Thanks for tuning to 3BN. We'll be right back.